I am here today with Mike Hosss. Mike, thank you so much for coming on the program. This is an honor to have you here because it's so interesting to me, and we're going to be talking media. I want to get your take on media because you're here on a YouTube show. You've got your own thing going on, and you left like what most people would think, like times are changing fast. Right. Okay, I said a bunch of different things at one time, but you know, how did you left Channel 4?
I did.
How long were you on Channel 4? A long time.
28 years.
28 years on Channel 4. So you worked with Garland and all of that.
Garland, Angela, Jim, Frank, Dave Barnes. We've had a lot of people come. I worked with Hoda Kotb, Lynn Cannon. They're the people who've left Channel 4 and gone on to really bigger markets and network is significant. It would have been a lot more, but the problem was everybody stayed. Nobody ever left. And so people, if people had wanted to, I worked with a number of talented people that just love it here, love the station, love the market, love the state.
And now it's like, so I guess so me and having a little bit of media background, you leaving Channel 4 like brought this big flag up and like, whoa, because you just said people don't leave Channel 4, and you left Channel 4.
I did. It's, the industry itself is changing. It's become, you used to have TV, and then you had a digital. And TV and social, and there used to be kind of these, now it's all together. I'm not even really sure who's driving the train anymore. Digital has become, and social, and your phones have become such a driver. I explain it like this. What I think television is, and that I'm older than you. So when I was 26 and 25 and 20, I didn't watch TV news. I was on it, but I still didn't watch it. I was like, man, I was out, being young and stupid. And then you have kids, you get a house, you start having responsibility. Well, the news itself of the day, the 6 o'clock news, becomes a different aspect. Well, so my generation would do that. Dad's gone. Kids today. Kids, I call everybody kids, just so you know, everybody's kids to me. And so they've only ever gotten their news on this. So when they hit 26 and 27, 30, they're not suddenly going to go, well, let me turn the television on. No, it's that. They're never going that way. So that aspect, I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And so I had a very bright guy in the industry who I respect greatly. He said, that's true, but here's the difference. When you were 26, we had, as a television station, no way to reach you, no way to converse with you, no way to talk to you. Now, we can. We can talk to 26-year-olds. Do they watch the news? Maybe, maybe not. Do they follow us? Maybe, maybe not. But you have opportunities to talk
to catch them.
To catch them, exactly. To engage them. So that wherever I don't know where news is going. I don't know where we'll be putting it. It'll be somewhere.
It's going to be somewhere. People are
somewhere.
going to find it,
right.
Whether it be on YouTube,
exactly, and so or their phones, or whatever, and so that kind of, it's just
So you leave Channel 4. So you leave Channel 4.
Right.
You start Hosss Communications.
Right. I started it. It was really a buddy of mine, and I've been doing television a long time, and I was doing the morning show. So, for those of you that don't know, the morning show begins at 4:30.
Okay, 4:30.
I was up between 2:30 and 2:45.
Just the old guys that come in here and have coffee.
Right.
They're the ones watching at 4 o'clock.
Right.
Not many other people.
Right. So 2:45 is really part of the first day. It's not the next day yet. Yeah. I'd go to bed like 7 o'clock. I was like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
And so it's a real hard.
If you have a family and you have kids,
I have 2 daughters, and so
you want to be a part of their
So a buddy of mine called me. I'm from Virginia, and he'd started his own company, his own app called User, and it's a reservation app for Uber and Lyft. Real reservations, not the Uber and Lyft reservations, but real reservations. You see the driver, pick the driver, see the car, pick the amenities. And so he goes, hey, I'm starting this new company. I want you to be my communications director. I think he was teasing, and I said, sure. He went, oh. So I've been doing work for them, but that's what started the seed of telling stories, creating.
Because that's what news
content,
is.
right.
News is
When
and
it's done right, it's stories.
it's a story. You're telling
If you take the murders and the death and destruction.
Because I think when I was in news, that was definitely one of the things. Like, what's the story? Tell the human story of it.
Find the emotional aspect.
You're giving, and I guess the news term would be a package, essentially. Right. But you're putting together a story with your voice, with the videos of people's businesses.
Right, their brand.
Their brand.
Typically, the first story would be go to anybody's website, and there's an About Us page, who we are. Typically, every company in here, your company, they're great stories. Nobody just goes, my dad gave me the company, I'm a millionaire. No. And so they're great stories. And guess what? Nobody's reading it. Nobody's reading anything.
Nobody's reading anything.
Here's the only thing people read. They read Facebook when they're at work because they can't have the sound on. That's what people are reading. But other than that, so I'm like, if you've got one shot to talk to your audience, to make an impact. Tell them who you are, what you're about. Make that About Us story your story. Make it a visual.
Make it visual.
So I do that story. And then beyond that, we do brand stories just about, could be a person who's been there 38 years or whatever. There's 100 of them. There's a ton of stories that you want to go, well, nobody will care like that. That's not true.
And it was funny because before we actually started recording, I was telling you a little bit about what we do. We roast coffee, we supply coffee to coffee shops, we buy raw coffee, and it is a very visual process.
Right. It's a good story. People it's just, I mean,
there's people like, there's a whole background of stuff that actually makes...
And how you got to this point and how people do it. And, you know.
And so you take that and supply that for brands.
Right, turn it into a video product. And we live on Facebook right now. I mean, I've created half of the website with my website creator, and we're kind of at that. I'm like, just kind of hold up. The company's changed like 10 times in 8 months, and it was like, I'm not really sure.
One of the things
Facebook is kind of where I am. You know?
The thing with technology too is that we didn't even conceive of these iPhones before 2007.
Right.
That's 10 years ago.
That's what people don't understand. I talk to, not kid, again.
Everybody's a kid. I'm a kid.
So I'll talk to schools and they'll go, well, how come we don't, you were here for Katrina during all that. Where's all the pictures? I go,
there was no phone.
These didn't exist.
This didn't exist.
They look at me like I'm crazy. They go like, what do you mean? I go, they didn't exist.
Katrina taught people how to text.
Right. Totally. AAA, BBB, CCC,
to actually do it.
And they went through. Before then, you were like, text. There are people texting people sitting next to them like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But you're right. Katrina taught people about text.
It wasn't even before. There was no social media. Right. There would have been even a different storm, but a whole different news situation if that had been the case. But that was 2005.
Right. 2 years before the iPhone.
It's absolutely incredible. So going back to the news, you did the news. The news is about stories. You're moving forward with stories, but you've done stories at Channel 4 the whole time. Is there a story, and it could be a terrible death and destruction story. We try not to bring the show down too much here, but like,
it would never be one about most.
What is you got a story that's like that stands out in your head as something like that you covered that.
They're always, I did a story. I don't know if this is terrible because I'm not remember all of the names. I did a story that when I first flipped over to news, I was sports for 13 years.
Yeah, you were sports,
so when I flipped over to news, we did a story on these people who had paralyzed, waist down, lost the ability to walk for different reasons. Young kids, older kids, gunshots, just different, a really eclectic group. And they had this, and this is 12 years ago. And so they had this program at a hospital in the West Bank where they could put them into these contraptions for the most part, and electrostatic would enable them to be able to move their legs.
Oh, okay.
And it was kind of like, some of them needed walkers. And this was a while ago, probably technology, but it was like these people have not walked in years.
And so
we followed the program, they train them, and it enables them to walk. And then they went to City Park and they walked a lap. And we were out there, Channel 4 was out there, and we were all kind of cheering them on. And it was just a great story. or people who overcome in technology. I mean, basically, my favorite stories are people who overcome. You know, there's always a twist of some kind, but somebody who is down or takes a leap of faith.
And it's really not very different. And I guess now I'm going back the other way, taking people around on this one. But it's what you're doing now.
Oh, it's a total leap of faith.
It's a
total. Right. I mean, there are most of the stories that I gravitate to are the people that just chuck it for something that's a passion, or something that they care about. You know, believe me, I love Channel 4. I love everything about it. I'm who I am because of Channel 4. My wife is Channel 4. We have kids. I'm here because of Channel 4.
Yeah.
I have no disparaging words about Channel 4.
Oh, it's not about
what happens about the news industry is that it is in itself somewhat negative. Stories you do are negative. The crime, everything is just so negative. And so when I started this company, I deal with only
deposits,
young entrepreneurs, people who kind of it's yes people. It is yes. Can you do it? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Sure. Yeah, I can do that. You know, and it's just been such an uplifting thing for me because totally flipped the whole paradigm.
And I'm with you 100%. And I'll share. For me, when I was in the news, I'll never forget one morning there was a fire and this whole family was dead. Right. And I'm doing my job, right? I'm like telling these photographers, find these pictures of these kids, like find a neighbor that has them or whatever. And they've got these pictures coming across. We got them. We beat Channel 4 that day. You know what I mean? But
that's
why?
The insanity of it.
That's the insanity of it.
I beat somebody on a fire. That you know what I mean? That's the insanity of it.
And so here we are winning, right?
Right.
But man, I just felt that. Man, it was just terrible.
If you think about it, where do those pictures come from? And think about it. And I've had to do it far too much in my life to ask a parent or an aunt or a neighbor, you know, for a picture of a child that's that's just
that just died in a fire moments ago.
Those pictures don't just happen. I will say, social media has made that different.
Yeah.
But we would have to find a picture, shoot the picture, and I always flip myself and go, somebody asked, put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
Somebody asked you for 2 hours after their death. I need a picture for the news.
Yeah. That was one of my moments of I need to get out of the news. That was one of my moments.
You know, the news it's a helpful tool. It is what it is. I tell you what has grown out of it, and Lee Zirk, certainly played a huge part of that. And the newspapers were already, doing it. Is the investigative stuff.
Yeah.
It's grown post Katrina, Lee, and
the
David
news
Hammer
should be the public advocacy.
It should be.
Nobody
else. They can't go to the pressers and ask the questions. We have to be the public to ask the questions and to look for answers. So that aspect, I think, is a positive of the industry. That has grown. We have 3 people on our investigative team now. David, Mike, and Katie. That's unbelievable. That's great. So it's good.
And I think that's where it's.
There we go. That's it. I gave television a positive.
But it's very. It is just interesting. And then, Saints games. You do the sports stuff for the Saints games.
That's new. That's this year. They had asked me. I'm kind of a free agent now. I'm kind of do whatever I want. I am still working for you, sir. We spent a week in Virginia a couple weeks ago. So, but they said, it's like anything else. People have this product at home. Television has become so convenient. Sit there and do what you want, pause, whatever. And so they're trying to make the games a little more try to create some additional value. And I do a couple of interviews with former Saints and keys to the game. It's not a lot, but
you give your sports. I mean, obviously you're a sports guy. You give your sports background to some background information of what we're seeing.
Right, and the people I'm talking to are usually guys I cover.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. It's been a real eye opener for me because I'm a season ticket holder. So we would just we'd tailgate and go to the games and I'd be drinking, having a good time. And it never occurred to me about an in-stadium pregame show, halftime show, post. I'm just like, oh. But now that I've seen it, the number of people involved in putting a Saints game together
is incredible.
Staggering. It's a 40-page script by the second. The national anthem to people, how long it takes them to walk. I mean, it is the people behind the scenes deserve so much credit that nobody knows is going on. I mean, they're amazing. It's been
but I really
fun.
enjoyed it. I thought that was great because we went to a couple of games ago, and you gave the, hey, here's what to look what to look for.
Right.
Here's what's happening, and here's what could be happening next. And you gave, and like you're saying, like you go, you tailgate, you drink, you buy a couple $14 beers.
Yeah.
And
Is that what it is now?
Yeah, it's outrageous. Yeah, $12.50, something outrageous. Yeah. You could have bought a whole truck of Dixie beer for what you could get 12 ounces for. You know.
That part I don't like. But it is what it is. But that's why people sit out in the parking lot. Because most stadiums, you're farther away. But here, man, you're all right here. So everybody can wait 11:45.
But
you can still make it in. You know? But,
Mike, thank you so much for coming on the show. I think people are going to be like, oh yeah, wow, yeah, I am watching this on YouTube right now, and it is changing. It's a different world.
Social media. Go to our Facebook page is Hosss Communications.
Hosss Communications. We'll link that down
Don't worry
below.
about the website yet. We're working on that still.
But I'll put the
Facebook.
link on the Facebook there, and that way people can see it and see what you're up to. And thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.